For those of you guys who didn't know already, Jalen Hurts is going to be the starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles this week in their upcoming matchup against the New Orleans Saints over Carson Wentz. Now, I'm pretty sure a good amount of you guys already know the reasoning for why Jalen Hurts is starting over Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz has not played good this year. As a matter of fact, Carson Wentz has been one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL this year. This season, Carson Wentz has thrown for 2,620 passing yards, 16 touchdowns to 15 interceptions, and is completing 57.4% of his passes. And during the Green Bay Packers game, he got benched for Jalen Hurts. And when Jalen Hurts came in against Green Bay, he gave the Philadelphia Eagles a spark on offense. And I want to dive deeper into this whole situation because there is more about the decision to start Jalen Hurts over Carson Wentz than what a lot of people in the media are talking about. Okay, everybody knows that Carson Wentz has stunk up the joint this year. Everybody knows that it was just a matter of time before the Philadelphia Eagles decided to make a change at quarterback. Okay, we know that. But let's dive deeper into this whole entire situation. Let's talk about why Carson Wentz has struggled. So Carson Wentz has had a lot of issues this season with his mechanics. His footwork is off, his accuracy hasn't been there, and he's turning the football over a lot. And the reason for that is because Carson Wentz doesn't have the greatest team around. The wide receivers aren't great, the offensive line isn't great, and the play calling from Doug Peterson has been mediocre at best, and that's just me being nice. So Carson Wentz has been forced to play hero ball a lot. And when you play hero ball, you get so used to having to do so much, and you get so used to trying to be Superman all the time that sometimes that there come situations that you don't have to be Superman. And it's sometimes this year that Carson Wentz has chose to take the hard throw over the simple throw that's right in front of his face. And eventually that comes to a point when you try to be Superman in situations that don't require you to be Superman, that can cost you. You end up turning the football over a lot like Carson Wentz has done this season, and you end up costing your team a lot of games like Carson Wentz has done this year. Now, like I said earlier, Carson Wentz can be a really good quarterback in the NFL when he's playing at his best, when he's not turning the football over, when he's being efficient. But this season hasn't really been that for Carson Wentz. He has struggled this year. The play calling has also held him back. The talent around him has held him back. But being a quarterback like Carson Wentz is, being a guy who has been paid all this money, your team is going to have a hard time benching you. So for Carson Wentz being benched, this was not an easy decision for the Philadelphia Eagles. But you also have to understand there are more issues to Carson Wentz than just what has transpired on the field. There has been reports that Carson Wentz doesn't have the greatest work ethic. Okay? And this isn't the first time that these reports have came out. If you go and you check, there has been reports questioning Carson Wentz's work ethic and his personality, his ability to get along with his teammates, dating all the way back to 2018 of the 2018 NFL season. But the reason why nobody really brought those issues and those questions about Carson Wentz to the forefront is because the Philadelphia Eagles were winning games and Carson Wentz was playing good. But when things start to go awry and you start to struggle, that's where these issues of what's going on off the field start to come up. So when you look at Carson Wentz, I saw a Carson Wentz that looked dejected. Okay? And the Philadelphia Eagles offense looked dejected as well. And the quarterback position is not only one of the most important positions in football because the quarterback is one of the few players in football that has the ball every single play, but that is pretty much the CEO of the team. Okay? The CEO of the offense. That's who the players on offense look to for leadership. And when you look at Carson Wentz, when you have a quarterback that is not putting in a lot of work, that's just doing enough to make it by, the players on offense, they recognize that. And your worth ethic is going to rub off on your wide receivers. You ever heard the expression, you are what you hang around? That kind of is the similar scenario when it comes to the quarterback position. You see, playing wide receiver in middle school, Pop Warner High School, I've been around a lot of different personalities at quarterback. Okay? And I've never once played for a bad team because there has always been a quarterback that has always had a really hard work ethic that was always throwing me the football. But the 1 year that I had a quarterback that wasn't all that great was my 7th year playing football. Now, this was a quarterback who missed practice. And when he did come to practice, he always was arguing with the coaches, didn't really get along with a lot of the wide receivers and the teammates, and that rubbed off on the team. Because you can't have a quarterback who nobody likes. Okay, the quarterback has to be the most liked player on the team. Because when you have a quarterback who people respect and who people like, people will run through a brick wall for you. Okay? Like, the effort level there at the quarterback position is really important. And a lot of you guys who may have never ever played football wouldn't understand that. So you have an outsider's perspective. You don't understand how much a quarterback's impact off the field affects the team. When you have a quarterback that isn't applying himself in the weight room, isn't applying himself in practice, that makes it look like it's okay for other guys on the team, other guys in the offense, like wide receivers, to slack off in the weight room and not apply themselves in practice. So the quarterback position isn't always about being the most vocal guy. Sometimes guys lead by example. And when you're not applying yourself and when you're not working hard and you don't show that you're dedicated, that's going to rub off on a lot of guys on the roster, because a lot of guys are going to think that it's acceptable for them to slack off, that it's acceptable for them to, not apply their full effort in practice and not to listen to what the coaches are telling them. So, the decision to make Jalen Hurts the starter over Carson Wentz, it's more than just Carson Wentz play on the field, because Carson Wentz play on the field has been a big factor, but also what has transpired off the field that we've been hearing about Carson Wentz is also a big issue as well. Okay, like Carson Wentz playing bad is one thing, but also the whole entire offense playing bad is a difference. And let me tell you why. Okay, because when Jalen Hurts came into the game, the Philadelphia Eagles didn't even touch the red zone. When he came into the game, the Philadelphia Eagles offense was moving down the field. He, in his second drive, threw a touchdown to Greg Ward Jr. Okay, the team looked energized. The team looked energetic. They looked like they wanted to play for Jalen Hurts. They looked like they wanted to catch Jalen Hurts passes. Okay, the effort level was there, and you can't tell me that that's just all made up BS that people like to see. Like, you can tell. You can tell because when Jalen Hurts came into the game, there was just a different spark, a different feeling about the Philadelphia Eagles, and we saw it. And you Carson Wentz fanboys can deny it all you want to, but you saw it too. The Philadelphia Eagles offense was way better when Jalen Hurts was on the field. And you can say, oh, well, nobody was expecting Jalen Hurts playing the game. That is true. But once again, Jalen Hurts should have came in and stunk up the joint. Jalen Hurts is a great leader. And you can tell that the Philadelphia Eagles players have a lot of respect for Jalen Hurts. Listen to how Jalen Hurts carries himself in the post-game press conference. He never throws a player under the bus. He never throws his coaches under the bus. He's always looking to get better. It's not always about him. It's always about the team. It's always, what can we do to get better? Meanwhile, if you watch a Carson Wentz press conference, sometimes he throws the coaches under the bus. Okay? Sometimes he isn't the best teammate. And you can tell that. Watch Jalen Hurts' press conference after the Green Bay Packers game and watch Carson Wentz' press conference after the Green Bay Packers game and tell me that you don't see what the difference is. So when you look at Jalen Hurts is a guy who is a great leader, not only because he's not a vocal guy. He's vocal when he needs to be, but he is a guy who is a great example of leading by example. Okay? Jalen Hurts is a guy who works his butt off in the weight room. He works his butt off in practice. He works hard like every game is his last. And that's something that players need to see, because other players are going to see that worth ethic from Jalen Hurts and it's going to rub off on them. And guys are going to want to play for Jalen Hurts. So you look at Carson Wentz, his issues extend far past what's going on the football field. Eventually, what happens off the field is going to affect what happens on the field. That's why team chemistry is so important. That's why you have to have a coach who can manage personalities in the locker room. And when you're paying Carson Wentz all this money, it's really hard to say, hey man, we have to bench Carson Wentz. He's one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL. And that sends a bad message to the locker room. And Doug Peterson had to start Jalen Hurts because he had to send a message to the locker room that this kind of, play is unacceptable. And I know there have been several guys who have said the same cliche thing, but that's the honest truth. You have to send a message that bad play is not tolerated, because at the end of the day, guys are going to look at what the quarterback is allowed to get away with, and they're going to try to get away with the same thing that a quarterback is. That's why the quarterback position is so important. It's not just about what the quarterback does on the field, but it's also about what the quarterback is doing off the field, setting a good example for his teammates. And I think that the Philadelphia Eagles made a great decision to start Jalen Hurts over Carson Wentz. So you guys let me know what you guys think about this whole Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts scenario. Like I said earlier, there has been a lot of reports about Carson Wentz's work ethic and his ability to get along with teammates from going back to 2018. And now we're starting to see those issues come to the forefront. And do you guys feel like Carson Wentz off the field issues have kind of been a little bit of a reason why he struggled this season and why the Philadelphia Eagles have struggled as well? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Make sure you like the video for more NFL videos and content. And thanks for watching.